In this video, we're going to be looking at operations with complex numbers. And they give us a box with an explanation of complex numbers and operations with complex numbers. And we're going to see these steps in the following examples. In one, it wants us to simplify each expression, write answers in the form of a plus bi, and state the real and imaginary parts of each complex number. Now, the real part of each complex number is going to be our a, and the imaginary part is going to be the b. In a, we have 4 times 3 plus 3i cubed minus 5 times 1 minus 4i squared. And the first thing I'm going to do is distribute my 4 through the parentheses and my negative 5 through the parentheses. So this is going to be equal to 4 times 3 is 12 plus 12i cubed minus 5 plus 20i squared. And now we're going to simplify our i's. So we have 12 plus 12, and I cubed is equal to negative I minus 5, and I squared is equal to negative 1. So we have plus 20 times negative 1. And now we're going to simplify and write this as 12 minus 12i minus 5. And now we have 20 times negative 1 is negative 20. And now we're going to combine our like terms. So we have 12 minus 5 is 7, minus 20 is negative 13. So we have negative 13 minus 12i. And the real part is negative 13. And our imaginary part is negative 12. In b, we have 3 minus the square root of negative 5 times 1 plus the square root of negative 1. So the first thing I want to do is get rid of my negative inside my radicals and write them as i's. So I have 3 minus I square root of 5 times 1 plus, and the square root of negative 1 is I. And now we're going to FOIL. So we have 3 times 1 is 3. 3 times I is 3i. And then we have negative I square root of 5 times 1, which is negative I square root of 5. And then we have negative I square root of 5 times I. So we have negative I squared times the square root of 5. And now I'm going to write my I squared as negative 1. So I have 3 plus 3i minus I square root of 5. And then I have minus, and I have negative 1 times the square root of 5. And now I want to combine my like terms. And I have 3 minus a negative square root of 5. So I have 3 plus the square root of 5 plus we have a 3i and a negative I square root of 5. And we can write that as 3 minus the square root of 5 times I. So our real part is 3 plus the square root of 5. And our imaginary part is 3 minus the square root of 5. In C, we have 7 plus the square root of negative 3 squared. So the first thing I'm going to do here is rewrite this without the negative inside the radical. So I have 7 plus I square root of 3 squared. And now we have a perfect square trinomial, and this is equal to 49 plus 14i square root of 3 plus I squared times the square root of 3 squared. And this is equal to 49 plus 14i square root of 3 plus I squared is equal to negative 1, and the square root of 3 squared is equal to 3. So now we can combine our like terms, and we have 49 minus 3 is 46 plus 14i square root of 3. And our real part is 46, and our imaginary part is 14 times the square root of 3. And that's our video on operations with complex numbers.